Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have an exercise for you that's going to put you in the state following your wish fulfilled. So say you wanted $1 million right now. I'm going to give you a technique that's going to put you in a state that is after having that $1 million. So if you say, I want $1 million right now, or I have $1 million right now, we're going to use a technique that's going to put you after that. Okay, so I'm going to have you ask questions to yourself in a meditative state, in a state where you have present moment awareness, and you're going to allow yourself, you're going to allow these words to become thoughts and then images in your mind, and then impress into the subconscious mind, which then will change your outer circumstances, will program your world to change. Because once you impress the subconscious mind will impress you and impress your world and even change different parallel realities. So this is a very powerful technique, and I call this the after technique, because you're not saying I now have $1 million. You're saying, what would I do after I had $1 million? So you're putting yourself in the state of already having it and what you would be doing after it, which is a very powerful technique because it puts that $1 million already behind you. And then it tricks the subconscious mind to believe you already have that $1 million because you're making plans. You're asking questions now of what you're going to do now that you already have it. What am I going to do after I have $1 million? What am I going to do after I have the relationship of my dreams? What am I going to do after I own 24 supercars? What am I going to do after I own 12 luxury houses in 10 different countries on the beach? What would I do after that? And that's what this video is going to be about, is the after technique. So I'm going to have you ask yourself a series of questions in a meditative state. You can do this throughout the day. You can do this before you go to sleep at night. This is very powerful to program and send a cheat code or trick the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is impersonal. It doesn't know what's true and what's false. It only knows what you tell it through your feelings. And when you start asking these questions about what would I do after I had these things, amazing things will start to happen. Your world will transform to start creating these things into your life, and it'll start even programming you to start doing things, and it will be in a natural state to you. It's like if you were to say, what would I do after I owned the house of my dreams? Like right now, you say, what would I do after I had the house of my dreams? Right now. Okay, so then what you're doing is you're programming yourself. You're programming yourself and you're programming the subconscious mind with a new version or concept of yourself, and you're not even going to know the changes that are going to take place in your mind when you are reprogrammed. You're going to start doing things to effectuate that, and it's also going to change the world around you to start drawing this new house to you. And whether you got to transfer different parallel realities, that can also happen where that version of yourself already has this house. And it's taking place right now at the same time. So when you start asking these questions, it starts to move you even rapidly. It can move you instantaneously. So let's go ahead and jump into this, guys. All right, guys. So nothing stands between you and the fulfillment of your dreams but facts. Facts only. And facts are the creations of your imagination. So your imagination is the one that has created the facts. So you can use your imagination to change the facts. And this is a very important topic to cover when it comes to using the law of assumption, because all the facts that you have in your world that you see that appear to be real in your 3D world were all created from imagination. That means that you can change them with your imagination at any time. You have the free will to choose what version of yourself you will hold of yourself, what assumption you will be feeling. That's why asking these questions as if you have 12 luxury houses, you have 28 exotic cars, you go on exotic trips all the time, asking that question, what would you do after that? And that's the key to using the law of assumption. What would you do afterwards? Now that you had everything that you wanted, now that you were in the relationship that you wanted, you had all the money that you wanted, you had the career that you wanted, you had the body that you want, the health that you want, then what would you do? Push it one step past that and then take in that feeling by asking these questions. All right, guys, so here's the very first question, and I want you to ask yourself this question in a meditative state. You can do this before you go to sleep at night, or you can do this throughout the day. Just make sure you're in somewhat of a meditative state where you're like consciously aware. You have present moment awareness while you're saying that, and allow your mind and allow these great images to come into your mind, because this is like the after technique. Okay, so the first question is, you ask yourself this question: what would I do after? Okay, after, you say after. What would I do after I had $1 million in my bank account? What would I do afterwards? So you're creating, what these words are doing are creating thoughts in your mind, and then these thoughts are creating the image of the $1 million as if you already have it. So you're pushing yourself afterwards. What would I do now if I had that $1 million? What would I go buy, or what would I go do? So your mind is very tricky. So the mind is going to start imagining these things afterwards. It's going to start taking you over here. Okay, so I want to go to Tahiti, or I want to go to Bali, or I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Rome. All these different things are going to start popping up in your mind as images. So these images are going to start leading you to actions and hypnosis and programming to start leading and start changing your outside world, to start bringing things to you that are going to effectuate this $1 million in your bank account. When you ask these questions and you're present and you're in that present moment awareness. So this technique can be very, very powerful to create those images. And then from those images, it's going to push yourself one step past having them. Now you have the $1 million. What are you doing after it? And that's the key here. This is the after technique, because you're pushing yourself to that next level. You're putting the $1 million behind you, and now you already have it. And now what am I doing? This is the secret. This is a very, very powerful secret and technique to use with the law of assumption, with that power of awareness, while you are actually asking these questions and being really, really observant of your thoughts, and then taking in these feelings and allowing it to change your outside circumstances. So, all right. So question number 2. Okay. So the second question: what would I do after I had the house of my dreams? The house of your dreams, you already have it. What would you do afterwards? What would I do after I had the house of my dreams? Now let your mind just kind of drift and roam at that point, and have that present moment awareness, and allow that feeling to be impressed into the subconscious mind, and then let your actions evolve out of those feelings from that question, because you will start being connected to the source when you start thinking this way, when you start asking these questions to the subconscious and allowing these images to pop up in your mind. You're creating a new version of yourself. You're creating the concept of yourself, and your outside world will start changing, just like with the parallel realities. You'll start to shift to different parallel realities where these things will start happening to you. And as you move into different parallel universes, you will eventually connect with that version of yourself that has your dream house right now. So you can do this throughout the day, work yourself up throughout the day. Ask yourself this question, like on your breaks, or set an alarm, have a reminder, or do it as you're going to sleep. Whatever desire that you have, come up with that question. You don't necessarily have to use the questions that I'm giving you. You can use any question that you want. And this is very, very powerful. So let's move on to question number 3. All right, so question number 3. What would I do after I had my dream physique, or the body that I've always wanted? What would I do after that? What would you do following the fulfillment of having that dream physique? What would you do? Let your mind drift into this. Allow those words to become thoughts and then images in your mind, and then impress the subconscious mind, and then allow your circumstances, your outside circumstances will start changing, and different things and different programs. That's actually another big part of this, is the programming it will do for you. Because when you send out these signals of what you would do after that, you're tricking the subconscious mind to believe that you already have these things. Because the subconscious mind it's impersonal. It doesn't know, what's true and what's false. It only knows what you tell it through your feelings. So when you start giving them these feelings that I now have, I'm planning on doing something after, something that I don't really have, but something that I'm going to do after I have this, then the subconscious mind is tricked at that point. Then you have tricked it, and then you will be programmed to get that thing, or it will be brought to you somehow. You're all of a sudden going to be waking up 2-3 hours earlier, and you're going to be like, your testosterone is going to start climbing through the roof, or something similar to that will start happening to where your body will just start changing. You'll start to want to work out, or your body will just magically start changing. You'll start noticing that your eating habits are different. You're not wanting to eat the same things that you were eating before. You don't have any desire for that. I mean, the subconscious mind works in magical ways like that will start changing things. It'll start not only program you, it programs your world to do things that will effectuate what you're telling it that you already have. So this is very, very powerful. So if you tell the universe, or you tell the subconscious mind that now you have the dream house, now what would I do after I had the dream house? Then you're tricking the subconscious mind to believe that you already have that dream house and you're planning to do something after that. So now everything in your world's going to start to shift, and programs are going to be put into place to make that dream house come to you, or you to do certain things to get it. And it's going to be like automatic. Okay. So because free will only exists in the assumptive world. But you're assuming a new state, you're being programmed with a new state. So it's going to be automatic to you. So it's not going to feel like work to you. It's going to feel very natural to you to do the things to get that dream house, or to get that $1 million in your bank account, or to get that new physique. You're being programmed by your own questions, by tricking the subconscious mind to believe something that you don't have, but you're tricking it and you're telling it that you do have it. So this is a trick. This is a secret, that is known by all the ancient mystics and prophets. But this is a very powerful technique, is asking these questions. So ask these questions, whatever you're desiring, come up with that question of what would you do afterwards. So after is a big part of it. So because you wouldn't be doing anything after something you didn't have. Okay. So once you put yourself in that position of what would I do after I had $1 million, then the subconscious mind is being tricked at that point that, I'm going to buy a jet, or I'm going to buy a brand new car, or I'm going to go on this trip, or your confidence levels are going to start increasing. Your self-love is going to start increasing. You're going to feel differently. You're going to react differently. You're going to talk to people that you had anxiety about, before, like you were afraid to talk to somebody because your anxiety levels were high. All of that can change with these assumptions. Your personality is going to change. Your conception is going to change, and you're going to be more confident in everything that you do. And you're going to look back on the person that you were, and you're not even going to know who that was anymore. You're not going to be like, who was that? That's not even you anymore. You're going to be programmed to get these things. And the subconscious mind is going to program you, because once you impress the subconscious mind impresses you and the world that you live in. And it also comes into effect with quantum physics and the parallel universe, realities that you'll be shifting to as well. So it's a lot of different factors, but this is the trick. This is a very powerful tool to use the law of assumption to create the life that you want. All right, guys, I love you guys very much. And don't forget to give me one thing you guys are grateful for.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.